The Calvert-Lewin gamble. Why Man United's shock move could be genius or disaster. When Manchester United fans wake up and see Dominic Calvert-Lewin linked with a move to Old Trafford, their first reaction probably isn't excitement. After years of watching their club chase big-name strikers like Victor Gyökeres and other expensive targets, the idea of signing a 28-year-old free agent with a lengthy injury record might feel like settling for second best. But hold on. Before we write off this potential signing, let's dig deeper into what Ruben Amorim might be thinking. Could this seemingly underwhelming move actually be a stroke of genius? Or is it exactly what it looks like? A desperate attempt to solve United's striker problems on the cheap? The free agent reality, when your contract runs out. First, let's get the basic facts straight. Dominic Calvert-Lewin became a free agent at the end of June when his contract with Everton expired. After 9 years at Goodison Park, the 28-year-old is looking for a new challenge, and Manchester United might just be ready to offer him one. The Everton years, a mixed bag. Calvert-Lewin's time at Everton tells two very different stories. On one hand, he managed 71 goals and 22 assists in 273 appearances, including a brilliant 2020-21 season where he scored 16 Premier League goals. On the other hand, injuries have been a constant companion, with the striker missing a staggering 111 matches through injury or illness during his time on Merseyside. The England connection. Despite his injury problems, Calvert-Lewin has been trusted by England managers. His international experience adds another layer to his appeal, showing that when fit, he's considered good enough to represent his country. The United interest. Why Amorim wants him. According to reports, Ruben Amorim is particularly keen on bringing Calvert-Lewin to Old Trafford. But why would the Portuguese manager want a striker who scored just 3 goals in 26 Premier League games last season? The tactical fit. Amorim's 3-4-2-1 system requires a striker who can hold up the ball, bring others into play, and create space for the attacking midfielders behind him. Calvert-Lewin's physical presence and ability to lead the line could be exactly what the manager is looking for. The financial sense. In a world where decent strikers cost £50 to £80 million, getting a Premier League-proven goalscorer on a free transfer makes financial sense. Yes, there would be a signing-on fee and wages to consider, but the overall cost would be much lower than buying a striker. The experience factor. At 28, Calvert-Lewin brings experience that younger strikers like Rasmus Højlund and Joshua Zirkzee might lack. Having a veteran presence in the dressing room could help the development of United's younger forwards. The catch, third or fourth choice striker. Here's where the story gets interesting. United apparently see Calvert-Lewin as a third or fourth choice striker rather than someone who would lead the line every week. This raises several important questions about the move. Managing expectations. If United are clear from the start that Calvert-Lewin won't be their main striker, it could actually work in everyone's favor. The player gets regular football without the pressure of being the main man, and United get depth without breaking the bank. The injury management. One potential benefit of using Calvert-Lewin as a backup is that fewer minutes on the pitch could mean fewer injuries. His injury record at Everton was partly due to being overplayed when he wasn't fully fit. At United, he could be managed more carefully. The mentorship role. Having an experienced striker like Calvert-Lewin around could be invaluable for the development of Højlund and Zirkzee. He could share his knowledge of Premier League defending and help the younger players adapt to the physical demands of English football. The fan reaction. Revolt or acceptance. The article suggests that if United's striker search ended with signing Calvert-Lewin, fans might revolt. But is this fair, or are expectations getting in the way of good sense? The expectation problem. United fans have been conditioned to expect big-name signings. After years of being linked with world-class strikers, the idea of signing a free agent from relegated Everton might feel like a step backward. The reality check. But maybe fans need to adjust their expectations. United's financial situation means they can't always go for the most expensive option. Sometimes smart business means finding value in unexpected places. The bigger picture. If United sign Calvert-Lewin as a backup and still bring in a top-class striker as their main target, fans might be more understanding. The key is communication. The club needs to be clear about their strategy. The competition. Fulham also interested. United aren't the only club looking at Calvert-Lewin. Fulham are also showing interest, which could create a bidding war for his signature. The Fulham factor. Fulham might be able to offer Calvert-Lewin regular first-team football, which could be attractive to a player who's been struggling for consistent game time. This puts United at a disadvantage if they're only offering a backup role. The London appeal. Playing in London has its attractions, and Fulham's recent success in the Premier League makes them an appealing option for players looking for regular football. The contract battle. With multiple clubs interested, Calvert-Lewin and his representatives will be in a strong position to negotiate. This could drive up the signing-on fee and wages, making the move less attractive for United. The injury elephant in the room. Let's address the biggest concern about signing Calvert-Lewin, his injury record. Missing 111 matches through injury or illness is a serious red flag for any club. The Everton context. Part of Calvert-Lewin's injury problems might have been due to Everton's situation. Playing for a struggling team, being overplayed when not fully fit, and dealing with the stress of relegation battles could have contributed to his fitness issues. The United medical team. United have one of the best medical teams in the Premier League. If anyone can help Calvert-Lewin overcome his injury problems, it's the Old Trafford medical staff. The risk versus reward. Every signing involves risk, but free transfers allow clubs to take bigger risks because the financial downside is limited. If Calvert-Lewin stays fit, he could be a bargain. If he doesn't, United haven't lost a transfer fee. How it could work, the backup striker role. If United do sign Calvert-Lewin as a backup striker, how would it work in practice? The rotation system. Amorim could use Calvert-Lewin in cup games, against lower league opposition, and to rest his main strikers during busy periods. This would keep everyone fresh and give the team different tactical options. The impact substitute. Coming off the bench to change games is a valuable skill. Calvert-Lewin's physical presence could be exactly what United need when they're chasing goals in the final minutes of matches. The different style. Having a striker with a different style to Højlund and Xerxes gives Amorim tactical flexibility. Sometimes you need a target man to change the game, and Calvert-Lewin fits that role perfectly. The financial breakdown. Let's look at the numbers involved in this potential move. The free transfer advantage. Not paying a transfer fee means United can offer a higher signing-on fee and wages while still spending less than they would on a traditional transfer. The wage structure. Calvert-Lewin's wages would need to reflect his role as a backup striker. Paying him like a first-choice forward would be poor business, but offering a competitive package with appearance bonuses could work for everyone. The contract length. A shorter contract with extension options would protect United while giving Calvert-Lewin security. This allows both parties to reassess the situation if things don't work out. The bigger transfer strategy. This potential signing needs to be viewed in the context of United's overall transfer strategy. The depth building. Modern football requires squad depth, and having quality backup options is crucial for competing on multiple fronts. Calvert-Lewin could provide that depth without breaking the bank. The youth development. Having an experienced striker around could accelerate the development of United's younger forwards. Sometimes the best signings are the ones that help other players improve. The flexibility factor. Different games require different approaches. Having a variety of striker options allows Amorim to adapt his tactics based on the opposition and game situation. The alternative perspective. What if this signing is actually smarter than it looks on paper? The undervalued asset. Calvert-Lewin's injury problems and poor last season might have made him undervalued in the transfer market. United could be getting a quality striker at a fraction of his true worth. The motivation factor. A move to United could reinvigorate Calvert-Lewin's career. Sometimes players need a change of scenery to rediscover their best form. The prove yourself contract. If structured correctly, the contract could incentivize Calvert-Lewin to stay fit and perform. Appearance bonuses and performance-related clauses could align his interests with the club's. The risk assessment. Every transfer involves risk. But what are the specific risks with this move? The injury risk. The biggest risk is that Calvert-Lewin's injury problems continue at United. However, as a free transfer, the financial risk is limited to wages and signing-on fees. The performance risk. After scoring just 3 goals last season, there's a risk that Calvert-Lewin's best days are behind him. But in a backup role, the performance expectations would be lower. The opportunity cost. The main risk might be that signing Calvert-Lewin prevents United from pursuing other striker options. However, if he's genuinely seen as a backup, this shouldn't be an issue. The precedent factor. Have similar signings worked for United or other top clubs? The free transfer success stories. Many successful signings have been free transfers. Players like Sol Campbell, Andrea Pirlo, and more recently Kylian Mbappe have all moved clubs without transfer fees. The backup striker role. Successful teams often have quality backup strikers. Players like Divock Origi at Liverpool and Olivier Giroud at Chelsea have shown how valuable a good backup can be. The rehabilitation stories. Football is full of players who have overcome injury problems to have successful careers. With the right support, Calvert-Lewin could follow a similar path. What United fans should think. How should United supporters react to this potential signing? The realistic expectations. Fans need to understand that this wouldn't be a marquee signing designed to excite the fanbase. It would be a practical move to add depth to the squad. The trust factor. Sometimes fans need to trust the manager's judgment. If Amorim believes Calvert-Lewin can contribute to the team, there's probably a good reason for it. The long-term view. This signing should be viewed as part of a bigger strategy rather than an isolated move. The key is whether it makes sense in the context of United's overall transfer plans. The verdict. Calculated risk or desperation. So, is this potential signing a stroke of genius or a sign of desperation? The case for genius. If United can get Calvert-Lewin on reasonable terms as a backup striker, it could be smart business. He brings experience, Premier League knowledge, and a different style to the squad. The case for desperation. If this move represents United's main striker signing of the summer, it would be disappointing. Fans have a right to expect more ambition from their club. The middle ground. The truth is probably somewhere in the middle. This could be a sensible squad addition if combined with other signings. The key is context and communication. The final word. The potential signing of Dominic Calvert-Lewin represents everything that's complicated about modern football transfers. On paper, it might not look exciting, but dig deeper and there are reasons why it could make sense. The success of this move would depend on several factors. The terms of the contract, Calvert-Lewin's fitness, his willingness to accept a backup role, and how it fits into United's broader transfer strategy. What's clear is that this wouldn't be a signing designed to get fans excited. It would be a practical move aimed at adding depth and experience to the squad. Whether that's enough for United fans remains to be seen. In the end, the most important thing is that any signing helps United become more competitive. If Calvert-Lewin can contribute to that goal, then the move makes sense. If not, it would be another transfer mistake to add to the club's growing list. The summer is young, and United's transfer business is far from done. Whether Calvert-Lewin becomes a Red Devil or not, it's clear that the club is exploring all options in their search for the right additions to Amorim's squad. Sometimes the best signings are the ones that make perfect sense rather than the ones that generate headlines. For United, Dominic Calvert-Lewin might just be that kind of signing.